Alright guys, in the last video we added the logic for our login, but it's not actually doing anything except just saying message success. So now what we want to do is we want to actually create a token when this passes and send it back to the user so that we can take that and then we can send that to access protected routes, which we haven't even done yet. We haven't implemented passport or protected routes, but we'll be able to at least get the token. So let's go up top here and bring in JSON web token. So we'll say JWT equals require JSON web token. And then the way that this works is we take that JWT variable. So let's go right here where we have the success. And let's just put a comment here and we'll say user matched. So what we want to do is sign the token. Okay, and this is all in the documentation for JSON web token if you want to check that out as well. We're going to say JWT dot sign, and what this is going to take in is a couple things. It's going to take in a payload. The payload is what we want to include in the token. Now what we want to include is some user information. Because when that token gets sent to the server, we want to decode it and it needs to know what user it is. We also need to send a secret or key. We need to send an expiration if we want it to expire in a certain amount of time. So before we do anything inside of here, let's create the payload. So I'm going to say const payload, and we're going to set that to an object. And what I want to put in this object is basically all the user information, but not like the password or anything like that. I want the user ID, so we can get that with user.id. Okay, just remember this user is being given to us right here. Okay, so we can access all of its fields. We want the ID, the name, and you can put whatever you want in these payloads. So user.name. We also want the avatar. So we'll say user.avatar. All right, those are the things that I want to include in this payload. So we'll say create JWT payload. All right, now when we create the token, we can pass in the payload. We also want to pass in a secret or a key. Now any kind of key I don't want to put right in our code. I'm going to actually put it in our config file, so inside of our keys.js. So let's open that up and let's put a comma right here and let's add secret. We'll say secret or key, that's what we'll call it, and you can put whatever you want here. I'm just gonna say secret. So it's just a string of whatever. That's fine though. So we'll save that. Now we want to put that in here, so we need to bring that file in. So let's go up top here and let's bring in const keys. We'll say require, and let's see, we want to go out of API, out of routes, out of routes and into config and then keys. So now we have access to that keys, and down here now after the payload we're going to put in keys dot secret or key. Okay, so now if you want to change that key or access it, you don't come to the actual code, you just go to that config file. And you should do that with any kind of API key or anything like that. All right, the next thing we're going to put in is an object, and we're going to say expires in. Now this is, I believe, seconds. Is it seconds or milliseconds? I'm not sure, but you can have this token expire whenever. I think that it's secure to do it in about an hour. So 3600 would be an hour. Sometimes people will make it a week, or sometimes they won't even expire at all, which I don't think is very secure. I think after an hour, the key should be thrown out and the user should have to just log back in if you're using this type of authentication. Maybe that's a little harsh. Maybe I don't know. I think it's secure to do something like that, or maybe even a day. But I definitely wouldn't do like more than a week or just no expiration at all. All right, so the last thing we need is our callback. Okay, we're going to use an arrow function, of course. And what do we want to do here? Let's save this. Oops. I thought that it would format this for us because I kind of want to put this stuff on separate lines. Yeah, let's do that. All right, so this will give us an error if there is one, and then it'll give us our token. Okay, now we want to send this token as a response. So we'll say res.json, and let's send, we'll do success. You can send whatever you want. I'm just going to say success true, and then the token. Now, the way that we format these tokens in the header is by putting the word bearer. We're going to be using a bearer token, which is a certain type of protocol. So we're actually going to tack that on to the token so we don't have to do it when we actually make the request. So we're just going to put in a string of bearer space and then token, like that. Okay, so we should get that token back now if we have a successful login. So let's save and let's go back to Postman. And now let's do the same thing. We'll keep this is the correct login information. Let's send, and there we go. There's our token. Okay, so now what we would do, it's not going to work yet because we haven't implemented Passport, but we would take this and put it in the header as an authorization. Okay, and that will send it to the server. The server will validate the user. It'll get the user information, and we can use it within our Express server. All right, so in the next video, we're going to start to implement Passport so we can do just that.